Hello, lovely people. Welcome to my channel. This is Davorka. So now let's talk about Akashic Records again, because this is the part two, and I'm gonna put here somewhere the link to my first video that I did about Akash, where I explained what Akash is. So just to give you a small introductory, basically Akash is something that you can do by yourself, right? But what I did earlier this summer, actually a couple of months ago, I went and got a reading from somebody from the Akashic in the Akashic Records. So yeah, as mentioned before, you can do it by yourself. The way that I did it by myself is that I was following the guided meditation that I found here on YouTube. There is not one that is better than the other. You have to go and browse and check what is the best for you. Choose whatever calls to you and works for you. However, whenever you're doing it by yourself, especially in my case, it's always like, oh, did I imagine that? Did this came from my own, ego self, or did it really come from my higher self and Akash? So I was always interested in somebody doing the reading for me, and as a law of attraction does, whenever you're thinking about something and giving the emphasis to something, then that attracts to your life. So this is how I got the information and attracted actually this lady to my life who does the Akashic Records reading, which is, and also she does it online, which is great because it was more, convenient for me. I don't have to go anywhere and she doesn't have to go anywhere. It was from the comfort from my own home. So we did the Zoom call. We did the initial meeting, because you have to have whatever you're doing, whatever if you're having a session therapy, if you're going to the doctor, whatever you're doing, you have to establish some kind of connection with the person who is doing the service for you, because if you don't have the connection and if you don't trust that person, then the service is not going to be the best that it can be. So we had our own initial talk first, and then she told me what to expect from the session. She gave me she actually sent me some pinpoints regarding the session, what kind of questions I can ask. For example, which is something, a bummer. It's a bummer. It's not fair. And I'm sure you're going to agree with me. And that is that it's really a bummer that you can't ask for lottery numbers. Because if we can, I would already ask them. But unfortunately, we can't. So those were one of the rules that we can't do. And I prepared myself, and then I came for the session. And then when the session started, I believe we did some grounding, like a breath work, a little bit of, calming yourself, getting into your core. And then she started reading this pray for opening the Akashic Records. And then she asked my permission to open my Akashic Records, which of course I gave. I gave to her, and she went into my Akashic Records. So later, what happened is basically me starting with the questions. And now I have to say something regarding that, because before I started the Akashic Records and before I prepared for that, I was like, okay, I have so many questions. I'm going to fill like at least 3 pages of notebook of the questions that I have. But as I started putting the questions down on the paper, it down to me that like I figured out like all the questions are coming from the only 3 subjects that I have in my life. So everything, I have only like 3 pain points and everything else is like a sub question from that. So that made it a little bit easier for me, because it gave me a little bit more, clearing and clarity of what actually I'm looking for and what actually I want to know about and where I'm confused. So it was all it's interesting, because you're asking the questions and the lady is just sometimes closing her eyes and sometimes looking up. Feels like she's looking at somebody, and then she's giving you the information. So now, no, unfortunately, I'm not going to share the questions that I had with you here. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to go into the actual details. But it was profound for me, for sure, especially because I had some experience, one experience that I had when I was a teenager, and I never could explain it to myself at all. And to few people that I talked about that, they were also really confused about it. They were like, okay, this is freaky, this is strange, and I don't know what to think about that. Like, okay. So, that was always a big question. I had a big question mark for me. And as I went through life, I was always really interested in what that experience was, and because the only explanation that I could come to was completely crazy. And then I asked about that, and the reason why I'm telling you this, because it was, even for her, when she heard about it, she was going into the my Akash and asking about that, and then she was silent for a few seconds, and then she gave me the information, which actually confirmed my crazy idea what it could be. And I was like, oh my God, so I'm not crazy. So this actually happened. And then she gave me some other clues why it happened to me and how I'm connected with that. And I was like, okay, and not just me, like my family members have been connected with that situation too. And I was like, wow, I never knew about it. And that was for my some family members that I never even thought that can happen. And I was like, how come you can give me the information about that? And she was like, so that's what I was asking them, is that am I available? Like, am I okay to give you that information? And they were like, yeah, she's ready. She's ready. She can hear about it, and she can even hear about that, why why I was in that situation, and that's why my family member was mentioned there. I was like, wow, I would never think about it. Like, okay, so that just blew my mind, because the extra explanation that they gave, it felt like puzzle pieces coming and bringing the whole puzzle in place. And those were not some information that I knew. But when she mentioned, it was like, okay, now it just makes sense, because I was missing few puzzle pieces before. And that was really interesting. So now, no, unfortunately, at this moment, I'm not going to share that what that experience was with you, because at this moment, I am not ready to share it with the world. Maybe one day I will, but at this moment, no. But I had to mention this because it was something that was really huge for me. So now, especially, so yeah, later I asked about, of course, other things. And one of the things that was really interested for me, and I believe I can share a bit about that with you, and that was because I think it's going to be beneficial for most of you if you have that, and I'm sure you have some kind of situation like that. And that is sometimes having really turbulent relationships. Like, it can be romantic, it can be family, it can be friend, but sometimes you have the relationship when you are, let's say, friends, like you are the best friend with the person, the best friend it can be, right? You just click, you know each other, and you're always there for each other. And then it comes the time when that person just gets on your nerves, and that person is just really mean to you, or you're really mean to that person, and or just that person just doesn't get you at all. And you're connected to that person on higher levels, so you can't get out of that dynamic that easily. So I was asking about one of that relationships that I have in my own life, and it was like their reasoning behind that was like, okay, so you do understand that when you come, you have a soul contract. I was like, yeah, okay, I get that, I know that. They're like, okay, so basically we all that come here, and the people that you're connected with, and not just connected with, but usually people that trigger you, you know, gets you feel crazy and really mad about sometimes, are actually the people who are part of your soul family. And when you came here, you had agreement, both of you, not just them bothering you, but you also had agreement with certain souls that you're going to bother them, like giving them hell of their lives so you can move forward, or they can move forward. Basically, everything is in the highest good, made in the highest good, and is happening for the highest good and for your development, future development. But that, for me, when that explanation was there, I understood that from before, but I never really understood it, because sometimes you have the knowledge about something, but then it didn't really sink in until you make a connection with some experience that you have. So for me, it was like, okay, now I get it, now I really get it. And when you actually do get it like that, then whatever the person did to you, no matter how mean or nasty they were, when you understand the reason behind it and why all of that dynamic is done in that way, you actually can feel only one thing, and that is love and gratitude toward that person. You're not feeling the blame for that person. You're not blaming that person for anything anymore. You actually understand that it was for your higher good, and then you're okay with whatever happens, no matter how painful, how bad it was. You're actually grateful, and you, in a way, you leave that person at peace, because you're not holding anything against that person anymore if something was really bad, right? So for me, that was really like a clearing path. I was just clearing myself of the nastiness that I brought because of situations that I went through my life. So that was really, really helpful for me. And also, one of the things that they said to me, and because I just love learning about this stuff, I'm crazy about new things, I'm crazy about psychology, spirituality, whatever you call it. Like, I just want to know more, I want to hear more about it. And they actually told me, like, because I'm stuck in certain parts of my life right now. I feel stuck. I really do feel stuck. I'm like, how can I get out of that? And they were like, you need to go on information diet. I was like, what? They're like, you're learning too much. You're trying to understand too much. It's like you understand everything. You never stop and just tune into yourself, because you have all the knowledge, you have all the understanding, you have already everything that you need, but you're always in a search for more and more and more, and nothing more is needed for you. You have to stop the search and you have to start living it. And I was like, what? Because I really love the search. I really love to learning new things. I really love to read new books or listening to new audiobooks and listening to new podcasts and that kind of stuff. They were like, no, you need to go on informational diet. And I have to say, that happened like I believe it was 2.5 months ago. I tried for a few days, but I'm addicted, guys, and I'm still struggling with this. But yes, I still need to go on my information diet, and I gave myself time frame to start, and that is next week. I'm starting next week with the information diet regarding all of this. So hopefully it's going to be beneficial, because I'm really bad so far. So yeah, that was something that was said to me, like, if you want to get rid of whatever confusion you have to just tune into yourself. And I have a feeling that this is beneficial for a lot of people, because I'm not the only one. And I can understand, actually, when you want to go forward in your life, but you're not sure, you're never sure. And because of that unsureness and you not being sure of yourself, you're always going to search for more information, search for more information. And in all of that search, you're actually just going to stand in one place and not moving forward. So that's what's happening with me, basically. And I know I'm not the only one. So that was really, really really interesting, because those were answers that, when it was spoken through me to me, I felt, yeah, like it just hits the spot. Yeah, that's for sure. I had all that answers already inside of myself, but it was always in the back of my brain. It was not, visible in front of me. And now, going through this experience, this lady just pushed it up, and now I can just, I can't pretend I don't know anymore, because it's so easy to pretend that you know something, you don't know something. So basically, yeah, it was really beneficial for me. I would do it again for sure, not at this moment because I think yeah, I don't need it at this moment. I got all the information that I needed for me for now, and I'm still not doing what I'm supposed to do, as you can hear. But I would definitely go through that again because it was, I just love that experience, and it was just what mind blowing, for me. However, of course, now knowing what I know, I'm gonna also practice by myself and going by myself with the guided meditations that I mentioned before. But yeah, for sure, just for fun, I would like to go at least one more time to with somebody else. So that being said, if you have any questions regarding this, of course, you can always use the comment section. I'm here to answer whatever questions you have. And if there is somebody interested in trying for themselves, I can actually put in the description the website of this lady that did the Akashic Records reading with me. Again, I'm really, if you're interested in something like that, go and check her out. She's great. She's really, really awesome. She's great and really knowledgeable. And she's a really nice lady, really nice lady. But yeah, like I'm just trying to think what else should I share with you from this session. It just no, they gave me some insights about because I'm starting a new career in a way, a new career path with this that I'm doing also. And she was saying, she was giving me the info regarding that I was not even asking for, but I got the information about that, and I was like, wow. And then a month later, I got certain things were set in place which I didn't know at the time when she was giving me the information about. It came to like later, it makes sense. At that moment, I was a little bit confused, like what is she talking about? And then it started. So basically, it's really interesting. I'm not going to say there is something there because I know that this is for sure, that this is happening, but it's just a great experience to have if you're interested in something like that, and I truly do recommend it for you. So that being said, thank you for being here with me, listening to my rambling up until this point. And I hope you got some insights and some information that you were looking for. If you have any questions, as mentioned before, just put them in the comment section. I'm here to answer them. And of course, please do hit like and subscribe, and see you on my next video. Until then, thrive, be the greatest person that you can be, the best being that you can be, and just enjoy your life because this life is just awesome. It's just awesome if you decide to see it in that way. Okay? Bye, love. See you next time.